Hi Sagittarius, welcome back to my channel Tarot Z. I am Z and I'm going to be doing your tarot reading, finding out what are the messages with the cards that come out in this reading for you today. Thank you so much for joining and for being here for the reading. So let's begin. Let's find out what cards come out and what messages come through the cards that do come out in this reading today. So the first card we have is the Seven of Cups. It is in the reverse, so we have some water sign energy with this card. You could be dealing with a Cancer, Pisces, even Scorpio. We have the Chariot. We have some more Cancer energy. And we have the Devil card, and we also have some Capricorn energy with the Devil card. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups shown up here at the bottom of the deck, this does feel like an energy of really being in the initial stages of a connection or in the initial stages of feeling in a connection. I do feel like with this Page of Cups, this does feel like an energy of also having a lot of admiration towards you and even towards a situation. And I do feel like this is a romantic connection. I do feel like with this Page of Cups shown up over here, this feels like an energy of actually kind of being a bit infatuated. I do feel like with this Page of Cups, this does feel like an energy of the developing of feelings in the situation or in this connection. I do feel like with this Page of Cups, this does feel like an energy of kind of being in a space where somebody may be a little bit inexperienced when it comes to how to approach a situation. So I do feel like they're kind of trying to feel their way around how to really approach it. And especially when it comes to being able to express themselves and even their feelings. I do feel like with the Seven of Cups in the reverse, this does feel like an energy of someone who's in a space where I do feel like there's a sense of this person being in a space where they have strong feelings towards you. I do feel like especially emotional connection is something that this person shares with you and feels really strongly towards you. I do feel like with the Seven of Cups in the reverse, this even feels like an energy of someone who's kind of, they're dropping any of their other options. It's like they're invisible to them because they're in a space where their focus is on you. Do you feel like there's also a sense of actually making a conscious choice to be able to hone in on you and this connection, because that's what their feelings are kind of guiding them towards doing. I do feel like with the Seven of Cups showing up in the reverse, this feels like a pretty decisive energy. So it does feel like a sense of this person being in a space when it comes to this connection and what it means to them. It's something that isn't perplexing them. It feels like it's a no-brainer when it comes to following their feelings. And I do feel like with the Seven of Cups, it does feel like a more so grounded energy when it comes to the way that those feelings are handled and even expressed. But I do feel like there's a little bit of there's certainty when it comes to this person's feelings. They know what they want and they know that this connection is it. I do feel like with the Chariot card showing up over here, this feels like an energy of experiencing forward movements in this connection. I do also feel like when it comes to this connection and the feelings that it kind of brings to you, there's a sense of this connection being one that you would like to move forward with. I do feel like with the Chariot card showing up over here, this feels like an energy of also having a sense of direction in this connection. I do feel like there's a sense of actually being even very determined or ambitious when it comes to being able to go after a goal. And I do feel like when it comes to this connection, it's like this connection is the goal. I do feel like there's a goal in mind when it comes to this connection. With the Chariot card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of being able to get through any obstacles in your way and also being able to succeed and also being able to get to where you want to get to in this connection. I do feel like with the Chariot card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of also having a connection with somebody who I do feel like they may be quite different to you, but I do feel like there's that yin yang energy where it feels like they complement your energy in a way that works really well together. With the Chariot card, this also feels like there could actually be some travel involved in this connection as well. And I do feel like when it comes to that, it does feel like being able to have a sense of things moving forward. But with the Devil card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of there's a lot of desire when it comes to this connection. I do feel like there's a strong attraction as well that's kind of pulling somebody in. And I do feel like with the Devil card showing up over here, this does feel a little bit low vibrational. I do feel like with the Devil card showing up over here, this also feels like an energy of kind of being a bit attached in this connection. It's like there's a forming of a of an attachment, or a way in which this sense of connecting is happening is that it's leading to an attachment. So the devil card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of really being able to really monitor that things aren't becoming too dependent in this connection. Because I do feel like with this Page of Cups and the Chariot card, it does feel like you have a great thing going on here. But with the Devil card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of kind of the danger zones if there's no caution in this forming of the connection. So I'm going to clarify these cards. We have the Three of Cups and we have the Knight of Pentacles. And we've got the Eight of Wands, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune, this does feel like an energy of a connection that does feel like it goes through a lot of extremes when it comes to experiencing the highs and the lows. But I do feel like with the Wheel of Fortune showing up over here, it still feels like a connection that does feel like it is one that you can find yourself feeling quite lucky to be in. I do feel like when it comes to experiencing so much extremes in this connection, it does feel like a sense of actually being able to grow through a lot of those and feeling as though this connection is actually strong enough to be able to get through those. I do feel like with the Wheel, this does feel like also divine timing at play in this connection. I do feel like there's a lot to learn from this connection as well. There could be a lot of moments that do feel like they are kind of trying to teach you something, or you may be also the person you're dealing with is also experiencing it in that way. But it does feel like this is a bit of a karmic energy in this connection. But I do feel like with the Wheel of Fortune, this feels like an energy of a connection that does feel like you wouldn't have it any other way. In spite of what you go through, I do feel like there's an energy of being able to actually kind of come back from those more in a very resilient way when it comes to experiences in this connection. I do feel like emotionally it could feel like a roller coaster at times, but I do feel like the highs and the lows, I do feel like the highs outweigh the lows. With the Three of Cups from up over here, this feels like an energy of having a strong foundation of friendship. You could have started out as friends in this connection. I do feel like there's a sense of wanting to be able to have and build upon that foundation in a way that is taking things to the next level from that friendship foundation. I do feel like with the Three of Cups, this does feel like a very social energy, kind of being in a connection with somebody who you do feel like this person is quite social. This person could be kind of like extroverted. I do feel like with the Three of Cups, this also feels like being able to enjoy in moments shared together when out and about in the social scene. I do feel like with the Three of Cups, this feels like celebratory energy as well. With this Knight of Pentacles, this feels like an energy of really being cautious and moving forward. Now the Chariot card showing up over here, this does feel like having forward movements. I do feel like things are headed in a direction that's decided upon. This does feel like being in a connection that does feel like it's moving forward, it's going somewhere. I do feel like with the Knight of Pentacles, this feels like an energy of also being in a space where there is a lot of caution when it comes to that forward movement. With this Knight of Pentacles, this does feel like a cautious energy, but also a very steady kind of progression in this connection as well because of that. I do feel like with the Knight of Pentacles, this also feels like an energy of being very much so invested, all in, and even just being in a space where there's a strong commitment towards this connection and its progression. And I do feel like with this Knight of Pentacles, this also feels like an energy of wanting to have a connection that's going to be long lasting, and also when it comes to having a connection where everybody's best interest is taken into account. I do feel like with the Eight of Wands from up over here, this feels like communication, but it feels like quick communication, being able to kind of hear from somebody and hearing a lot from somebody all at once. With the Eight of Wands, this does feel like being able to also have what feels like, when it comes to communication, it feels like it is a presenting of something that is like an opportunity from somebody when it comes to them wanting to be able to kind of communicate something to you. So I do feel like there is actually a motive behind the communication. And with this Eight of Wands, this feels like very exciting energy. I also feel like there's a sense of also being able to have communication progress really quickly when it comes to a connection with somebody, and kind of being able to experience almost like a whirlwind of a talking stage, or when it comes to hearing from somebody. So I do feel like this person isn't holding back. They're not being shy. So I'm going to clarify these cards. We have let go of control issues, and we have passion. And we have stay optimistic about your love life. So this let go of control issues card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of really being able to let go of the sense of trying to control the outcome of this connection. I do feel like allowing for things to kind of unfold naturally, and that leading to the best outcome. I do feel like with this let go of control issues, this does feel like an energy of being able to actually have a free connection with somebody, where there is a sense of not trying to control the other person, or the other person trying to control you. I do feel like with this card, that is something that's important when it comes to this connection kind of thriving. I do feel like you have a strong connection here. But this Knight of Pentacles, this does also feel like an energy of kind of trying to be able to ensure that everything is happening in a certain way, and that can also lead to kind of a delay when it comes to being able to have things unfold. And I do feel like it's because of kind of trying to control the situation. But with the Knight, with this let go of control issues, this really is about really stepping out of the way and letting things kind of unfold naturally in this connection, and also trusting the process of this connection, and even the direction in which it's headed and where it's going. I do feel like with the passion card from above here, this does feel like having a connection that is quite passionate. I do feel like when it comes to this connection, it does go quite deep with this, with the Chariot card from up over here. This does feel like having a sense of knowing in this connection when it comes to the feelings involved. But with this passion card from up over here, this also feels like an energy of being able to actually feel this connection with this person. And I do feel like with the passion card from up over here, it feels like enjoyable moments when it comes to being around this person. And I feel like that's something this person actually seeks out with you. I do feel like there is a strong connection, and it's very passionate as well. With the stay optimistic about your love life card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of being able to maintain a positive outlook or expectation for this connection, because I do feel like there is a sense of experiencing a lot of different emotions in this connection with the wheel card showing up over here. And that can at times feel either exhausting, or it can feel like it's something that's kind of leading to a bit of doubt at times. With this stay optimistic about your love life card showing up over here, this is really about being able to maintain a positive expectation and outlook of this connection, because it does paint this connection when it comes to the way in which you're really looking at it and expecting it to be going with this person. I do feel like also with this devil card showing up over here, there may be a need to also kind of be in a space where it's like you're giving this person the benefit of the doubt, because I do feel like with this devil card showing up over here, this person may have a lot of things to work through. I do feel like they could be a work in progress in some aspects, but I do feel like it is something this person with time is kind of working on, especially with that Seven of Cups in the reverse. So I do feel like there is an energy of being able to really focus on building a healthy, committed relationship, and kind of being able to take conscious steps towards that. But I also feel like when it comes to being able to give this person some grace as well. So those are the messages I'm getting with these cards for you, Sagittarius, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, Sagittarius.